Hi, this is Abdulaziz Khan, and in this video, we will learn about how we can plan a space diversity link in path loss. Before starting, let me give you some administrative idea as well. I will just let you know that how path loss tells or how path loss recommends to minimally plan a space diversity link. It does not mean that if you are using any other method which is giving you good results, then you will leave that method and you will turn to the method that I am telling you. You will also be using quite similar method. There should be very small differences maybe. We will try to discuss those as well. Whatever I have learned through interacting with a lot of planning guys in my life. But just to tell you that there's a way that you can minimally plan a link. But as I have told in many of my old videos as well, and you also have known it, that there is something which is called a local knowledge of the area. So the person who is planning somewhere, because he is planning a lot of links, and then he may be, I mean, I'm assuming that he's trying to know that what which of his plans are actually working as required. For example, I planned a link, then I will when it will be in operations, then I will see that okay, is it working as per my plan or not. So based on that, your understanding increases a lot, and then you learn a lot of that. Okay, I did this, and so this happened. I did this, so this happens. So you should use that more because that is a definite knowledge. What I will be telling you is only that how it is done using the tool. What are the minimum steps or which steps are taken. I mean, what you do, one, two, 1, 2, 3, 4, what you have to do, and then a link with the space that is planned. And then tell you just something about this link. I have just tried to make it near the coast because most of the time the coastal areas have some issues which can we can see that if this is a viable link for space diversity or not, because some links they are maybe they are not space diversity viable, but because you are getting some issue, then you just make it a space diversity. So in this way, we will try to learn that okay, what is the minimum criteria, what is the path loss recommendation, that which kind of link should be put on a space diversity and which link should not be put on a space diversity. But still coming back to the main point that if you have some local knowledge, if you have some idea, then it's better that you go ahead with it. So let's start. These are the two sites and this is the links that I have chosen. Let me just show you this link to show you the terrain data. This is a normal kind of link. I have just added some tree as well because it's better. We should make it a kind of habit that whenever we plan a link, we just put some vegetation because you never know that in the whole line of sight if there are any trees on any place because the path loss data of the terrain may not be 100% accurate, so you have to put some kind of margin. So the trees are a good margin basically. So we make this. We see that this is a very unbalanced terrain, so which is good in some ways and not good in some other ways. But let us go ahead. Let me show you the antenna heights. I have taken 50 meter as the main and 45 meter for the diversity antenna. So this is, I have already put a 5 meter gap within it. So we can see here the diversity is also there and the main is there. So we have both the antennas. Let's go to the analysis. Okay, so you can see we have already put 5 meter gap, and this 5 meter gap has given us a very good improvement factor of 41. So we have a nice SD improvement factor. If you see, we have the link is also very nice. It's 99.99996 available. Even I can make it 100% available because I have put 9 dB of losses because the Fed margin was around 40. So I brought it to 30 because we normally keep it as on 30. It's up to you. I mean, these are some things which are just a kind of recommendation. You can put it very high, as high as possible. It's up to you. And so I just try to show you that okay, this is what we have: 99.9996, 41 ST improvement factor, 30 dB fade margin. So this is a very nice link because the availability is very high. It's in 6 nines. That's why we have this warning. Otherwise, this warning is of no use, I mean, because we are better than this warning. So that's why we are getting this warning. So now let's see that if we need space diversity or not, and if we need, then how we should plan the space diversity. Let's go to specular reflections. This is the place where we try to find the space diversity of the link. How we calculate it? We use analyze using reflective plane. This is what path loss has made us for us to check that how much or how we should plan a space diversity link. So I should click on it. So because we want to use as a reflective plane, so we are provided with something that first we need to define that reflective plane. So definition is very simple. I should calculate it. So because I was telling you that this is a very uneven area, so path loss was not able to find it. Uh, okay, it has calculated it, but it is calculating it inside this. So we have two options. One is that we use it as it is. So let's try. So this is a reflective analysis using reflective plane. So because the plane is defined, so now we are inside this tool, this subtool. If you see here, this is space diversity planning window. So in this area, we can plan the space diversity links. Our frequency is 10, our main antenna heights are here, and the parameter which will be used as a variable is the Earth's radius factor. We will keep it as it is. We will not change it to other one. We can do these other things also on this same window, but for space diversity planning to be done correctly, like if you see, if I click here, this was all ghosted. So we need to do it on the Earth's radius factor. We can change the polarization if we have a different polarization. So now let's see how it is done, or what are the steps, or how path loss suggested. So what we'll do is that first we will click the first one, that we should set site 1 and 2 main antenna heights. So if you see here, it's showing us that we have a very nice peak on 1.33, and we have some nulls on the start and on the edge of it. But just remember that this is because our effective plane is not in the proper place. So let's go ahead. I mean, like what path law suggests is that your 1.33, the k equal to 1.33 should have a peak on it. So we can see that we already have a peak on 1.33. So it means that our first criteria is fine. We have a peak of 1.33. Let's go to number two. So the number two is showing us that we have a null on almost the same place. But when we have a null, it's almost where we have a peak. So it's kind of not very, very bad. Let's go to point number three. Then we should go one by one as per the recommendation, should go one by one. So number three is almost here. So if I just summarize it as per the path loss recommendations, then I can say that because what path loss recommend is that you should have the peak of the main peak should be on 1.33. So we already have, and then it asks us to make these 2 points as well, and then it says that no two nulls should be on the same place. So the null should not be on the same place, but this null is a bit near to 1.33, and this null is also a bit near to 2. What I will just suggest, very small thing, that is this number 2. We can just shift it a bit more on the left side a bit. Let me take it a bit left side so that it's a bit far from 1.33, and the second null we should take it a bit on the further side, so that on 1.33 we have a kind of I mean the best of these options. This is also a point where people they start to disagree with each other, because now what we are doing is that we are trying to uh, make something based on that what out of it will be the best, because we cannot tell or we cannot guarantee that at what point our earth radius factor will remain. We know that it remains most of the time in 1.33. But as I told you that there's the local knowledge is also very important. If you have a good knowledge of an area and if you know that how much it changes, and one more thing that you will see that is that how much relative receive signal. I mean, the null has how much value. It's a 6 dB down from zero. So it means that on the actual link, it may not have a very significant effect. It may have some effect, which not be very bad. But again, it's based on you should based on your local knowledge. So you should know better that most of the time in your area, what is your experience? Where do it lives most of the time? And if you are fine with the numbers, if you see that and if you discuss it and you feel that the numbers are not very bad, we can go with that. Then you can accept it. Acceptance means that you can revise the antenna heights based on it. And if I will say yes, it will update it in the antenna height and we can see it. You see now the antenna height is a bit changed, and you can see from here the ST improvement factor is also changed because we changed it a bit on this side because we increased it on both of them. Oh, no, we decreased it, sorry. So from 5 to it's now 4.8. So from 41 it is on 38 now, but it's not very bad. So let me take you back and let me show you one more thing. Basically, in this video, we just saw that how or what are the recommended steps. So, if you remember when we were starting it in the defined plane, it says that even though it defined the plane, but it was not very happy with the plane because you can say that it has said that reflection point is outside the plane limits. So the plane limits are where the plane is. You can say that has a does not have a broken. I mean, it has a straight line, unbroken line, but the reflection point is outside of the unbroken line. It's in the broken line. So that's why. And if I use another method, still now it went inside the. It's inside it. So what we can do in some of these scenarios, one way is that you just do your analysis. Okay. So after changing of that, we see that it's a bit changed. Let me change it further. Let me define the plane once more. I should first remove it. We can put a constant or we can put an arbitrary value as well, a constant elevation. Like I see that I told him that okay, use this point as the plane. Now if you will see here after using this new one, this a bit changed and we have 1.33 almost on this place, and we can just because we need this on the peak, so either we can reduce or we can increase the antenna because this peak is a bit large peak. It has a higher value, and then we can have in the similar way we can have the other diversity as well. This is coming very near to this. Let me take it back to this side. Okay, so now we have seen that we have some different values now. It's 51, 44, 45. I will not use it. I'm just showing you some of the way and then let me try to discuss it. What generally I do is that in these kind of cases where the least square feet is not able to very accurately define it, then what we should do is that we should make some workings. Okay, let me make it again. Okay, first I did it with 30. Now I am doing it with 32. Okay, with 32 I see this is shifted a bit here, so I can take it like this. I will not go in very fast. I will try to make it very fast because I just wanted to show you some things. Is that okay? Now I found some new numbers. They are not very much different from the others. You can make a copy of all three numbers, and then what you will do is that you will erase this plane. You will define the plane again. This time you take it 2 meters down. Okay, now it's on 28. Now do this again. Okay, on 28 it shifted here. So you took it towards 49.4. This one is already looks good. This is a bit on this side. Let's take it to some other number. So these are the places where you need a team which has some good idea of the local knowledge, and they have some idea that okay, how we planned one link and what was the outcome, and how we planned another link, what's the outcome. Because generally we were fine. It was not very bad. The only problem that because of this I tried to show you this whole method is that our normal defined plane with the least square feet method was basically failing. It was giving us a warning that reflection point is outside the plane limits. Even though it is creating a plan, it's creating a plane and we can still work on it, but as we were watching, as you remember, you see here this color is also not, it's not giving the correct colors. It's bringing anything, everything in black color because these are not coming from a very perfect reflection plane. So you should keep that also in mind. And this is why I know that a lot of people, when they do space gravity, they have some of their own methods which they feel that they are better in some ways or the other. So you can, what I will tell you that you take 4 5 methods if the link is very problematic, if you're having a very bad time with the link. So do it from 2 3 methods, take a very averaged or very weighted average value of the antenna heights and then try to implement it in that way. Like it will give you different antenna heights with different ways that we did once we did with the least square, then we put our own three values 30 and 32 and 28 based on our just idea. I took 30 meter as the average of this. You can take any other number, you can take 40 meter as the average of it and do based on that. So basically you should try to make your own guesses as well and then use it. But most of the time path loss provides you a good reflective plane within the limits, not in these kind of terrain, because you know you will have this problem when the terrain is a lot uneven like this one. If a terrain is a bit even or it's a bit, there's a pattern, then it is very easy for path loss to generate a reflective plane value for you. But I hope that you should not be distracted a lot. I tried to give you some ideas within this session that, but the main point was how we do it. So the how part is, I think, very clear for you, that if you want to do a space diversity, the how part is very simple, that you just plan the link completely, give it two antennas, give it some initial starting number, and then just use reflective plane. And as a student, you have to use this window and you just have to go 1 and 2 and 3, and generally then it is done. You just have to by doing 1 2 3, you just have to control these notches somehow. You have to take care that on the main the peak is on 1.33 and no two nulls are on the same place, because two nulls on the same place means that if it goes in that situation, then it will go in a null. But if you have two nulls, then your radio will switch to the better signal. So that's why you don't keep two nulls at the same place. So I hope this a bit longer video should be beneficial for you. You should have learned something from it. If you have any link where you are having some kind of or any kind of problem, you can contact me and we can discuss that, and see you in my some of the next video. Goodbye.